Hello. Coming to you from Excel Abundance is a program that we have put together for young boys and young adult males titled Respect Me, Respect You, Your Choice. So you respect me, I'll respect you, and at the end of the day, it's all about making the right choice. Please take a few minutes and review the content we will cover in this presentation. So let's first talk about good hygiene. Young men and boys, it's important to first and foremost respect yourself by respecting your own bodies, and that is keeping your body fresh and clean. Take those showers, cut those toenails. When's the last time you took a look at your toenails or your fingernails? Take a look at them. Clean your toenails, clean your fingernails, lotion your body. Sometimes I look at young boys and I see their elbows are all ashy looking, all white and ashy. Your knees are ashy. Put some lotion on your body. Put some deodorant on. You're a growing young man, and with that sometimes come a bodily odor scent that doesn't smell too fresh. So make sure you put your deodorant on daily. Brush your teeth. It's important to brush your teeth. You want your teeth to look clean and white and healthy. And don't forget to floss. Would you believe that flossing your teeth will cause you to live a longer life? So remember to brush your teeth in the morning and in the evening before you go to bed. And I would encourage you to get used to not allowing your pants to sag and hang down all past your buttocks. You know, think about it. If you go for a job interview when you turn 15, walking in there with your pants pulled down to your knees or down past your buttocks, you will not get that job. So think about it. You want to be job ready. So think about job readiness. Start making those good habits now while you're young. Keep your bedrooms clean. Because this pattern, whatever pattern you keep now, trust me, it will follow you into adulthood. And young men, when you become 16 or 17 or 18 or 21 and you meet a nice young lady, you want to bring her home, the last thing she'll want to see is a messed up bedroom. Clothes everywhere, everything everywhere just looks dirty and nasty. So remember, keep your room clean. Do it for yourself, first and foremost. Okay? Word to the wise. Let's move along. So now is the time that we're going to look at a slide regarding gentleman training camp time. What do you know about being a young gentleman? Let's take a look. Training camp. Be young gentlemen. First thing, respect young girls. Don't call them all kind of names. Be very respectful. Again, start now while you're young so that as you continue to grow older and you start, um, liking those young ladies, you'll already get that. It won't be too hard because you've already started when you were younger. Keep your hands to yourself. Remember, respect me. People will respect you if you give respect. Remember, it's a choice. So again, when you respect others, you'll get respect in return. And it might not happen immediately, but you just keep doing it. And pretty soon, you will gain the respect of your peers. Open the doors for girls. Don't let the doors slam in their faces. Open the door for the girls or young ladies or even the senior citizens. Open the door. Hold the door open for them. Again, don't let the door slam in their face. Or if you get on the bus and you have a seat and the bus is full and, a pregnant lady gets on the bus or a senior citizen woman gets on the bus, let them have your seat. That's being a gentleman. Again, be a young gentleman. Start now. Don't call girls out of their names. Use the name their parents gave them, because that is so very disrespectful. And I know you guys might be goofy now while you're young and it doesn't mean much, but I tell you, if there's a girl that you like, she don't want to hear you calling her all kind of other names, because she will look at you, she won't look at you twice and take you serious. So again, call the girls by their names that their parents gave them. Pull the chair out for the girl to sit in. So if you're someplace with a young lady or young girl, and you walk up to a table, pull the chair out for her. Don't let her pull her own chair out. You pull her chair out, and then when she sits down in it, then you push it in gently after they sit. Okay? So again, we're talking about the training camp to be young gentlemen. It starts while you're young. If you're on a date, pay for the girl's burger meal. She shouldn't have to pay for a burger meal. If you like her and you thought enough to ask her out on a date, well then be prepared. Be prepared to pay for her meal and be prepared to be a young gentleman. Be nice to her. Shake her hand and say nice to meet you if you come up on a girl that you like. And introduce yourself. And when you leave her side, tell her, have a great day. It was nice getting to know you. That's what you do when you care for someone. You be respectful. She'll remember that always. Trust me. Remember, self-respect is very important. Work to achieve excellent grades and respecting yourselves, which leads to great success. I believe as you work on yourself, you'll become happy with the outcome. You'll become happy with life. And then you can move on to greater success, whether that be college and or taking up a trade or becoming an entrepreneur. It's your choice. Let's move on. I want you to be encouraged to know that, no matter what environment you live in, you can dream and make goals in life and work to achieve them by starting out getting good grades. So remember, aim high, get good grades, work hard, stay after school if you have to do, ask for extra credit if you have to, but get those grades up. Be a higher achiever. You can do it. You see, the thing is, no matter the environment you grow up in, it doesn't matter. You can always reach your goals. I am a product of a teenage mother, and my mother had my eldest sister at the age of 15, and she had me at the age of 16 and a half. And she had 5 children, believe it or not, by the age of 23. And we just thank God. I'm very grateful that she kept us all and did not, have any of us put up for adoption. She could have, but she chose to keep us, and I'm just grateful for that. And so, I'm myself and, my siblings were doing well. We all graduated from high school and made my mother and my parents very proud of us. Don't let your history keep you from your destiny. Again, doesn't matter your history, doesn't matter, young adult men. If you did, serve some time, don't let that stop you from reaching your destiny. That's not the end of the world. I just encourage you to make those wise choices while you're young so that you don't have to go there. You have a choice. Remember, everyone has a choice at the end of the day. Remember, it's always important to never dumb yourself down for anyone. You may be hanging around some kids. Maybe you're you have a higher IQ and you get all these A's and your friends get C's or D's and you feel like they might talk about you or make fun of you if they know that you're getting straight A's. That's okay. You get those straight A's. Remember, set an example. Look at yourself as just setting an example, and you be you. Never change for anyone, no matter what. If your friends cannot accept you for who you are, then they really are not your friends in the first place. Remember that. You should never have to change and be different for anyone. You be you. Again, keep and work to achieve the best you can in school and within yourself. Right now, if you're in junior high school and or high school, start checking out the colleges that you desire to attend. Set a goal. If you want to be an engineer or an architect, or a doctor or a nurse or what have you, a fashion designer, a makeup artist, start looking at, the schools, or if you want to own your own salon, start looking into that. Make plans for that. Start now. Start looking, go online, Google colleges, to see, where you can attend. You can get financial aid to go to school. You can get Pell Grants. You can write letters and receive grants that you don't have to pay back. There's all kind of opportunities out there for you. You may want to go to Morehouse or Spelman University, Clark Atlanta University in Atlanta. You may want to go to Washington State, where the Cougs are, or Oregon State, Oregon Ducks, or Howard University, or University of Washington, where the Huskies are, or Michigan, or California, or Hawaii. There are so many choices. And so just remember that. You have so many options in life, no matter what environment you are growing up in. It doesn't matter. You can still be successful. There are so many people with success stories. So don't limit yourself, okay? Be encouraged. Let's move on. Now let's talk about the importance of keeping the right friends, keeping positive, influential friends around you. Be careful of the type of friends you keep. That is, be careful of the type of friends you hang around. At the end of the day, you'll have to select friends who have a drive to succeed in life, and you can't take everyone with you. So you want to hang around your peers that are doing something positive, not just hanging out, smoking weed, getting in trouble, I don't know, throwing dice, I don't know, whatever the young people do these days that is not a positive influence, then stay clear away from those type of individuals. Ask yourself, do they cause trouble all the time? Do they start fights? Do they get arrested all the time? You don't want to hang around negative people like that. Matter of fact, you want to be a leader, and so you want to do the right thing and be an example to your peers, no matter how they feel about you at first. Always be a positive role model example. It would take you a long ways. Trust me when I say you don't want to get arrested and go to jail. I've been in the jail ministry for nearly 16 years, And trust me when I tell you, when I walk into those jail cells, I never have seen yet two friends that have been arrested together and who shared a same cell. They don't care about your friends or your buddies or how close you are when you get arrested and you're thrown into jail. You're all on your own. It's truly not a joke. You are told what time to watch TV, what time to go to bed, what time to wake up, when you can play cards, when you can, even see the sunlight. All the jails and the prisons out here do not have windows. And so therefore, there is not sunlight always beaming through the window. Many times, people are incarcerated in places in a closed facility with no windows. It is truly real. And just think about it. You'll have charges on your record to follow for the remainder of your life. No one actually grows up in life thinking and dreaming, oh, I can't wait to be arrested. Just can't wait. I want you to take a few minutes and watch this episode on Beyond Scared Straight that I have included. And what you'll see is how some of the incarcerated treated some young teenagers that were taken to the prison, so that they can see what it would truly be like if they were to step inside the prison once arrested, the lifestyle that the inmates have. It isn't pretty. Share with you all how, my family is familiar with gun violence because we lost our brother. My parents lost their son. And it was over something really, just to me, just really small that could have been avoided. But because my brother had a hard time controlling his anger at times, he allowed words to aggravate him to the point that he went to this house where this one guy was told to have said something about his girlfriend. And so he was going to go over there to, confront the young man. And so here you have my brother, who is 19 years old, young. Actually, he was 20. He was young, and this other guy was young. He went over there to confront the guy about words that were said about his girlfriend. And then he and the guy shot him first, we were told, and then he fired back at the guy. And then in the house were a few of my brother's so-called friends. And one of the young men he grew up with, went to school with, and, he was a family member. And anywho, when they shot each other, the interesting thing was that everybody in the house, all the witnesses had a different story. And because all the witnesses had a different story, the cops didn't pin anything on the young man who is still alive, because my brother has passed away. And of course, my brother, he couldn't state his side of the story, of course, because he is gone. And what his so-called friends did, who was at the house when my brother got shot, not sure how the other young man got to the hospital, but they took my brother's body and they called 911 after dropping my brother's body off at a closed down gas station. Closed down, black, dark, hadn't been open for a while. And that's where his so-called friends, the ones who were not involved in the shootout, they dropped his body off. So by the time the ambulance came and got him to the Harborview Medical Trauma Center, they attempted to operate on my brother, but because he got shot in the abdominal area, he lost too much blood. And as well as because he laid at that closed down gas station too long as well, he was just losing blood. And so he did not make it. And so, now, his family is affected by it. And so We don't have a brother. My parents don't have their son, and we miss him like crazy, and we can never get him back, all because of a situation that I believe could have been avoided. And just want to add that my brother wasn't a drug user. But unfortunately, he did hang around young men like some of you, or some young men that you know that carry guns, and unfortunately, it was used. A gun was used on him to take his life. So again, I would just urge parents who are watching this with your children, just remember to teach your sons how to deal with anger wisely. And so I pray that this never happens to another young man. I know as parents, all we can do is we can train up our children, we can teach them, and then we can pray for them as we release them out into the world, and hope that they make the best decisions. Let's move on. Now let's discuss living inside the jail and prison system. So let's talk about it. So I also visited the Seattle King County Jail, which it looks kind of pretty on the outside. So this is the way our jails look here in Seattle downtown. As you can see, you see that red arrow to the right of the screen, and you see those little windows. That's where inmates live. That's where inmates are held until their court dates, and until, the judge sees fit to either release them back out in the streets, or they are transferred to a prison from that jail. And so I hear, when I used to go to the jail and to minister and sing and what have you, encourage the inmates, I can hear just screaming out of those windows. They would just be screaming. You can hear the inmates just screaming all kind of stuff, because they just want to be heard. They just want somebody to hear them, and so they're just screaming. Of course, no one half the time is paying attention, and nor can anyone do anything about it. And again, think about that. Is that the way you want to live your life, in a jail cell? Again, you can't communicate. You can't just pick up the phone and call anybody anytime. They have set hours to use the phones. They have set hours when they can take a shower. They have set hours when they can, again, watch television or go outside. And I don't even know if they can dribble a ball or play basketball. I'm not sure, but just think about it. You're told when you can do everything, and when to go to sleep. I mean, your rights are pretty much just gone. So young men, be careful and don't do anything to land yourselves in this type of predicament, to be put in jail or to be put in prison. Remember, it's all about choices. You make the choice. Don't let anyone ever talk you into doing something that will land you in jail or prison. It all boils down to choices. So make the right choice and pay close attention to your surroundings, where you are, and what's going on. So another prison that I had visited once is in Washington State, and it's called Monroe Prison. I went there again as part of the jail ministry. And again, prison is just a horrible place to be in. Again, I was just visiting, the prison, walking over to the sanctuary to sing. We sang and we preached the word of God, and we told our testimonies, to the incarcerated, the people, the men in there, and we encouraged them. We encouraged them to hang on to the Lord. We encouraged them to pray and know that God is real and there's nothing impossible for God, because really there isn't anything impossible for God if you just have the faith. But I wanted you to just see how they live in the Monroe prison. So you see to the right side of the screen where it says 62, 63, they actually, that's where individuals are living, and inside those doors with the number over it. They don't get a chance to go get an apartment or a home, or they don't have the freedom to go sit on the couch and get some popcorn or go get a cold pop or get a burger or go get a turkey sandwich and sit down and be comfortable and enjoy life. Their life now is governed by the prison system. I included another YouTube video from Beyond Scared Straight. Take a look at it. Take it just a few minutes. I believe it's only 2 minutes. Take some time out to take a look at it. Remember, start now. Respecting yourself, others will respect you. It's a choice. It's your choice. Make the right choice. Let's move on. One of the prisons that I visited when I was in Chicago with a friend, visiting, one of her relatives in the Supermax Chicago prison. I just wanted to show you how the prison looks inside. So if you've never been, hopefully none of you ever been inside a prison, I just want you to see right now what it looks like in a Supermax prison. So as you can see, all the yellow bars around there, the policemen are in the middle in that look like a gazebo type of building in the middle of the floor. That's where the guards stand with their guns and watch all day. And then these 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 5 floors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floors of just cells all around. And you see the bars are there, and so they can talk to one another from across the hall. Now, is that the way you would want to live your life, or spend 10 years or 20 years or 15 years or 30 years of life? I would not want to live like that, and I'm sure you would not want to either. Prison and jail are no place for any of you young men. What I've done is, I just want you to know it's a world, it's a whole world, it's a whole different world inside the prison, the world of a prison. You might as well kiss a lot of your rights away, because that's ran by a whole new system, whole different system, and you don't even want to get familiar with it. Trust me. I've added another YouTube video of this Beyond Scared Straight, just to give you again, just a look at this little clip, just to see how the inmates, were treating some of the young teenage visitors, the teen visitors who were right now getting into some little trouble. And so they wanted to give the teens a little ideal or example of the prison life, the way that it will really be if they ever get thrown into prison and or jail. So take some time out to look at this YouTube video. Let's move on. It's time to discuss teen parenting. Have you ever thought about it? Have you dreamed about it? And or are you living through it at this moment? Let's discuss. Have you ever thought about being a teen father? Remember, if you can't maintain from having sex, with all due respect, use a condom to protect you both, to protect you from STDs and from pregnancies. Let's talk about some of the situations, things that can happen. So remember, always think twice, young men. This is just the beginning of an 18-year plus relationship, or years of your life. You might say, well, if she gets pregnant, that's on her. She did that. Well, not really. It takes two. You know that, and I know that. There might be a young girl who wishes to trap you into becoming a father. Think about it. Or she's thinking, maybe he'll marry me if I have his child. Or maybe I'll just make sure he's around me for 18 years at least. And so think about it. Don't get yourself trapped. Be honest with yourself. Is this what you really want? Truly think about this before you have sex. Starting in the 5th grade, in the 6th grade, in junior high school, and high school. Think about it before you have sex with a girl. Are you ready to be a teen father? Or are you protecting yourself to make sure nothing happens? Because let me tell you, child support is real. The responsibility of a child is very expensive. Child support, we're going to get into that in a little bit. But think about it. So when you have a child is born, there are doctor's appointments that the child needs to be taken to, dentist appointments. You're up at night when they can't sleep. If they are screaming, you need to rock them to sleep. They need you. They need someone to hold them, to rock them to sleep, to comfort them. You got to change dirty diapers. You got to teach them how to walk, talk. There's daycare fees. They'll be cutting into your personal time with the guys. It's not an easy job. Although it's rewarding, it's certainly not an easy job. So remember, think twice. It is a huge responsibility, and it happens quite too often. Let's talk about child support. You might go, what is child support? Child support enforcement, aka DSHS. It's all about the children. All they care about is the children being taken care of. First of all, if you get a girl pregnant, the state can and will come after you when you turn 18 and you start working. I don't care if you're working at Safeway, you're working at your little grocery store or Taco Time or retail, the state can come after you for child support. What this means is from the first day that child was born, you will incur a financial debt because the state is looking at the father that he needs to be financially able to help this child as well as the mother. A lot of times a mother will go on some assistance, state assistance, so that she can, get diapers for the baby or get milk for the baby, get food for the baby. But if she goes to the child support enforcement and she's able to give them your name, first and last name, and it's even better if she can give them your social security number, because then they can find out where you work and they can begin garnishing your wages for back child support and current child support for this child. We will talk about it in a few minutes. I will show you in a little further detail on what that looks like when child support is garnished from your paycheck. So if you get behind in child support payments, again, you can actually, just want you to know, if you get behind in child support payments, you can be arrested in some states and put in jail, and you can also lose your driver's license. So if you have a job that requires you to have a driver's license, you don't want that to happen. I know some of my friends, babies' fathers have been known to quit their jobs every time the child support enforcement people catch up with them. But just know, if you quit your job, it doesn't matter because you will continually incur the back child support. It will continue to increase. And so don't have this huge amount of $300,000 over your head or $48,000 over your head or $69,000 over your head for a debt that you did not pay or you did not try to pay. because it will stay there. Child support does not go away unless you make payments. It does not go away. Trust me. Children matter. At the end of the day, is all about the children's welfare. That means the children being taken care of in every which way and form. So I have an example here. So let's say you turn 18 years old and you got a girl pregnant. Let's say you were 16 and you got her pregnant, or 15 and you got her pregnant. Let's say you work for a fast food or retail store and your paycheck for the month is about $1,450. We're just using this as a hypothetically speaking. Now, the state can take up to 25% of your check, which equals, if you make $1,450, they could take up to $362.50. Again, it depends on what state you reside in. Not sure about any other state, but I believe in Washington State, they can take up to 25% of your wages, which would leave you with $1,087.50. Now, remember, what you have remaining is what you have to use for rent. That means if you're renting out a place, for food, gas in your car, clothes on your back. So think about it. Is this what you want to incur by not being responsible and protecting yourself with a condom and or abstaining from sex? So again, according to the state of Washington, the father needs to carry medical and dental insurance if he's working for the child as well, while paying child support. And if the state helps with any of it, the father is responsible for a certain percent. Or I should say, I'm sorry, the father is not responsible until he begins making, working and making a certain amount of money. So if you're making 300, I'm not sure, again, check with your state child support or DSHS in your state to confirm. So in Washington, you would Google Washington State Child Support website for more information. But again, just keep all this in mind. Before you have sex with a woman, just think about this. Do I want this to be over my head? Unless you are 21 and ready to, be a responsible father, then I would say think twice. Are you a single mother raising sons and or a son? Believe me, I understand the struggle. Let's talk about it. So being a single mother raising a son, you might ask, what makes me so qualified to talk about this subject? Well, I too was a single parent raising a son alone for many years, and I'm grateful for his life. My son has never been arrested, blessed to say that. He loves the Lord and is writing a book. I told him it will be a New York #1 bestseller. It's important, parents, to encourage your children, to encourage your sons and your daughters to be the best that they can be, despite all other odds. He graduated from high school and attended college. My son decided to get married early, and they have a beautiful son, my first grandson, named Jeremiah. Although I never had to worry about where he was, because he knew if he wasn't where I told him to be, that he could be in some big trouble, because he knew I didn't play, like many mothers, I'm sure. In addition, I made it a point to have my children bring their friends to the house so that I can meet them, talk to them, and get a good understanding of the company my children and my son, of course, my children were keeping. That's very important, parents, for you to know who your children are hanging out with. who is influencing them. Trust me, there were times when various children came over to the house to visit, and I advised my children they were no longer welcome because of the disrespect that they showed in our home. Remember, young men, respect your household, your parents as well. It's the right thing to do, even if they are faced with many challenges. Respect your elders. If you respect your elders, especially your parents, you will have long life. You should have long life on earth, I pray. As single mothers, we need to know who our children are hanging around, just to reiterate. Show up at their schools and surprise them and make sure they are in class and learning. Make sure they see your face. However, at the same time, I believe it's important to let them enjoy their teen years. Teach them about staying away from drugs and alcohol. Teach the girls and the boys not to, return to their drinks wherever they may be, because kids can slip anything into their drinks, whether it's Kool-Aid, pop, or whatever. Anything can happen. So just be very cautious of that. Children and parents, just really sit with your children, communicate with them, talk to them on a daily basis, find out what's going on in their heads or just about their day. Teach them not to get in the car with a person who is behind the wheel, who is drunk. Also, of course, teach them not to ride in a car with strangers. My parents taught us not to hitchhike. I taught mine not to hitchhike. Call me or their father and or a relative, if you need a ride, but never, ever, ever hitchhike. That's very important. Let's move on. Also, be careful and be aware of your surroundings and ask yourself, children, sons, boys, young adult men, ask yourself, is being in this predicament worth my life? You have to make the right choices, as they will alter what happens to you, good or bad. Before you jump in a stolen car, as I have stated, or steal from the store, or snatch a purse from someone or a wallet, think about that. Is it worth it? Is it worth going to jail? Are you willing and ready to live with the consequences? Are you? You could get shot and end up in a casket, as shown in this picture. Be careful. Be wise. Make the right choice. Let's move on. Do you text and drive, or ride and let the driver text? Please think twice next time before getting in the passenger seat of a drunk driver and or in the passenger seat of a driver who's texting. Let's talk about it. Remember, don't text and drive or drink and drive. I want you to remember that most accidents involving a teenager being killed while driving, it isn't the driver that dies most of the time. It's the passengers and or the passenger, I should state. So tell that person, please don't text while driving. I don't wish to die. Remember, it's your choice. Look at this picture. Would you want to end up in a situation like this? No. No. Remember, it's your choice. Say no. Don't text and drive or drink and drive. Preserve your life. It's your choice. Drunk driver accident. The story of a young teen who had just graduated and was killed in a car accident while on the phone with his grandmother. That is a dear friend to our family. Now, this isn't the particular vehicle that they were in, but I just want to show you how bad, I mean, his life was taken. That's huge. But look at the car. Your life in this type of predicament. Our dear friend, he had just graduated from high school, and he was in the passenger seat. And the driver of the vehicle crashed. And while he was on the phone, while he was on the phone with his grandmother, and she was congratulating him for graduating from high school, the phone went dead. He died in that car accident, just like that. Looking forward to celebrating graduation from high school, and his life was taken just like that. Please be responsible and not get into the car with a drunk driver driving. Or remember, if the driver is texting, ask them not to text. It could cost your life, and you only have one. Make the right choice. I wanted to share a slide on domestic violence because I believe it is vitally important. Coping with domestic violence. If you are coping with it, please call 1-888-265-6273. A family can be the heart of the human community, but a family can also be a source of anger, grief, and betrayal. When love has become interwoven with violence, the nature of the family changes. It becomes no less powerful, but far less capable of supporting and nurturing, as the family becomes a vehicle for personal destruction and despair. In such a case, change is necessary. Whether you are a victim looking for help as you face or recover from domestic violence, and abuser determined to learn how to control impulses that betray your real desire and the trust of those you love, or a friend or associate trying to find support and healing for those close to you, counseling can offer hope. So please, I encourage you, if you're going through any of this, restore hope to a family and individuals. Teach all involved how to combat domestic violence. Provide practical guidance and methods. Provide a secure process for coping with trauma after abuse. Won't you call Domestic Violence Helpline at 1-888-265-6273. We encourage you to do so. I also wanted to include a slide in regards to child abuse, the deepest betrayal. Child abuse is the bitterest betrayal. A child helpless and unable to make fully informed choices, present strong resistance, or pursue a safe escape has a right to expect adult protection and support. Child abuse, whether through violence, emotional abuse, or sexual molestation, breaks faith with the obligation owed to all children. When abuse happens to a child, it is imperative that efforts be made to provide new security for a child, and then to heal the damage done as humanly possible. So please remember to dial the 1-888 number on the previous slide. We owe our children an obligation, whether they are our own or not, until a child is fit to function as a self-supporting and informed adult. Please contact the number as mentioned. Thank you. Let's move on. I want to take just a few minutes, maybe a minute or two, to just touch on credit report and FICO credit score. What do you know about your credit report? This is for children who are young adults on their way to college. I believe it's important to know. Credit report and your FICO credit score. When you get to college, you will start to receive credit card applications from various companies. Ensure you don't load yourself down with a great amount of additional debt with credit cards. Perhaps just select one credit card while in college and pay your items charged off that month, or make a monthly budget for large purchases to pay them off in a short period of time. You see, everyone will gain a FICO credit score once they begin paying on loans and or making purchases. Check your score once a year free by contacting the 3 credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You can find more information on the websites. Your score will range from 300 to 850. The higher your credit score, the lower the interest rate you'll have when you begin to make those major purchases, such as a car and or home and or even a business. I have put together a PowerPoint presentation discussing this topic in depth. See the YouTube video titled Credit Score Cleanup, or type in credit score review and it should pop up. Look for my name. Look for the name of our business, Excel Abundance, Tracy Holmes. We hope you walk away more knowledgeable with what you have heard today. We at Excel Abundance hope that you walk away with tools that will help you make better choices in life as a young boy and a young adult gentleman, male. These tools will help mold you into becoming the young man that can impact your community and your country one day. Start now and make a difference at your school and in your community. Be the brightest person you can be. Remember, don't dumb yourself down for anyone. Select positive friends to hang around. Be the leader after learning how to follow the rules and regulations of school and of the law. Make a difference in every way positive. Stay out of jail and away from situations that can land you in jail or prison. It's not a joke. Use a condom if you just can't abstain from having sex. Don't be a teen father, as I know you are not ready for such a huge responsibility. We are ever concerned about our youth in the community. That's why you're viewing this presentation. And remember, you have a choice. It's up to you. Don't forget. And in closing, I believe one more slide. Stay with me. Closing. Remember, just to reiterate, respecting yourself first is important. Then respect others. In return, they will respect you. Remember, you only have one life. Make the best of it. Thank you. From Excel Abundance. Have a great day.